everyone. I'm Kim Jacobs, host of The Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world, one household at a time. Listen, we go live every weekday, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I bring guests on that talk about their backstories, things that they've had to overcome to become who they are today. Many of them are balancing and juggling life, and they've become experts in different fields. So they're sharing tips with you to make your life just a little bit easier. Many times as a guest in the studio audience, you'll get a chance to walk away with a missing piece of the puzzle that might be missing in your life. Let's go on this journey together, and I look forward to seeing you Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on The Kim Jacobs Show. You're watching Kim Jacobs Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Yes, you might as well go ahead and put your seatbelts on because you're going to be on for a roller coaster ride today. Welcome, King Jaquel. Martin, how are you?
I'm blessed to be here. I'm very excited.
Well, I'm very excited to have you here today. And I'm glad to have all of you in the virtual studio audience. I can see that you're sharing the broadcast and that you are inviting friends and family to come on and hear this harrowing story, really, of a young man that has gone from some pretty interesting times to become who he is today. I don't want to reveal it all, but if you could, King Jaquel, just tell them a little teeny bit about what they can expect to hear without revealing everything.
Just a journey, that I'm unbreakable. One moment doesn't define your life. You do.
Wow. Okay. One moment does not define your life. And all of us, if you've had a moment that's happened in your life, just put in the comments, that's me, that's me, that's me. Because all of us have had that moment in life that we really do think it could be the determining factor to our destiny. But at the end of the day, King Jaquel Martin is here to talk to us about how one moment in time does not define your destiny. So I'm excited about hearing his story. Some of it's pretty graphic. And so if you have children watching today, I encourage you to definitely monitor the information because it's some that's going to be a little more racy and a little more intense than normal on here on the Kim Jacobs Show as we bring balance to the world, one household at a time. But as we're bringing balance to the world, guess what? We have to be able to keep it real, keep it relevant, and keep it relatable, right? Absolutely. So listen, I want you all, tell us where you're visiting in from. I love acknowledging some of our guests that are here. If I don't get a chance to acknowledge you all by name, know that I'm grateful that you are participating today. So Mackenzie backstage, go ahead and pop some of the comments up and let's see some of these shout outs. Hello to you, Fletcher. Hey, Cheryl, you may know some of these people too. Jaquel, King Jaquel. If so, you're welcome to say something to them. Cheryl is out here. Fletcher said, wow, okay.
Shout out to everybody. Thank you all for tuning into this amazing platform. Also, Miss Kim, thank you for being obedient because no one knows what it took for you to do what you're doing right now. They only see the success of the show. But thank you for being obedient and disciplined and passionate enough to continue to run the race to be where you are today. So I just want to honor you, Queen, and I just want to thank you for everything you're doing.
Oh, wow. Thank you. And thank you for being my guest today. So let me give a formal, it's a brief introduction on purpose because his story tells his bio. So there's no way I'm going to reveal everything from the story. But I can tell you that Jaquel, King Jaquel Martin, is, he says, the best motivational and inspirational speaker that the world hasn't even heard of yet, but they are about to. So put on your seatbelts as he whispers today to your soul. All right, everybody, listen, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to deep dive right into today's topic and just sit still for a minute. Sit still for a minute. All right, we'll be right back.
It's not just another day. It's a brand new day full of all the fun, love, and laughter you and your family create. Silver Shield Security understands feeling at home means feeling safe and happy. No credit checks, no contracts. We offer payment arrangements. And we'll even give you a free door camera. Find out how we can brighten your day even more at silvershield-security.com. Silver Shield Security.
All right, everyone, we're back and we're talking today with King Jaquel Martin, and he has a story to tell. But before he goes into the details of his modern day things that's happening, I'd like for you to take us back to some of your younger years when King Jaquel was just a boy. You were excited about life and you had your own goals and dreams. Talk to us about some of those days.
Well, I'm an Army brat. I'm from Benton Harbor, Michigan, born and raised. I'm an athlete. I've played sports my whole life. I've traveled. I went to a lot of different places because my mother was always being stationed somewhere different. So I believe that made me more of a well-rounded person. I think the more that you travel, the more you experience not just America, but the world, it gives you a different perspective and it allows you to fit in different situations that you normally wouldn't think that you'll be able to fit in just because of the opportunity of traveling. So I love people because I've been around people my whole life and I've been around different races, different countries. So it's just being a blessing to be able to use that. And now, if I'm doing my job, I can mess with people, right? And they'll walk by and I'll say, Privyet Godzilla, Besplatno Ulushenia Vashavadoma. And they're like, what? You speak Russian?
They're like, wait, what?
Right? Or Namaste, Apke Sehan, Muftandaza Apke God Kelie. And they'd be like, what is happening right now? You speak Hindi? Nihama, ni and Fe Kujia. You speak just a little bit of different languages. So when you're able to showcase other people that you respect them or you respect where they come from, when you're able to show love, you're able to receive love back.
Wow. So now when people hear you talking in these different languages, first of all, I don't know about you, but I know when I go get my nails done and stuff, I have to put my little Google translator on. This is just me, confessing here. And I'll play it to myself and I'm like, oh, so I know what you're saying, right? So then I'll say what the translation is of what I want to say, and then I say
Right.
it, and they're like, wait, what?
Right.
You know Vietnamese? No, I done Google translated and
That part.
did it on the moment. But
Google Translate what wonders.
translator work wonders, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but for you literally learn these different languages because of your military experience, or?
No, that's just me being a salesman. I wanted to learn different languages because when I went to different countries, I was like, man, I can't speak their language. How can I do my job if I don't know how to have this conversation with them? So I did what you did, girl. I went on Google Translate. Ah, ni hao. Oh, okay, that's what it is. Oh, baka. And they look at you like, what did he say?
That is so funny. So growing up, King Jaquel, you had in your opinion, you were moved around a lot because of your military family background, which gave you the opportunity to connect with a wide variety of people, right? So ultimately, not only did you grow up as a military brat type of thing, but you also chose that path yourself. Talk to us about that.
You set me up, Miss Kim. Okay. I got caught with a girl in the house. So my mom was like, it's time for you to get out. You think you're grown?
Oh, wait. How old were you when that happened?
See, the way my bank account set up, I came from now just playing. I was like 16, 17 years old when this happened.
And your mom came home. She caught you with this girl. Now, I didn't know this, by the way, because we're here live and it's an authentic, organic conversation. So I did not know that you got caught in an inappropriate way with a girl. And so your mom addresses you and says, "Oh no, Jaquel, Jaquel, you're not going. This is not going down like this." She used your government name, I'm sure.
Yeah, she did, and it was so funny because she came in with holy oil and praying and fussing and cussing to the Lord all at the same time. And she was like, yeah, it's about that time. You need to make a decision. And so I wound up deciding to join the military. I was going into the Air Force at first, but my recruiter tried to trick me and try to make me a parachute rigger. So I was like, oh, no, that's not for me. So I wound up joining the Army, which happened to be a blessing.
Okay. So from your younger years, would you categorize it as just a regular young person with goals and dreams, and you were pursuing them, and you kind of had some idea of where you were going, or did you feel like it was a wayward situation? I really don't know what life is going to bring. What phase were you in growing up?
I wanted to play football.
Okay.
But I went to like 4 different high schools, so I traveled all the time. So I was more, for me, concerned about trying to fit in, trying to play politics when it comes to sports. So technically, honestly, I graduated with a 1.9. And my coach wanted me to fail, so that way I would have an opportunity to go to college as a D1 recruit because I was good at football. My mother wasn't having it. So I wanted to go into the military, and the military was an amazing experience. I got to travel, like I said. I've been to Germany. I was stationed there. I played semi-pro football in Germany. I played for the Saarbrücken Hurricanes and the Kaiserslautern Cougars. So it was just an amazing experience.
Wow. Okay. And so while you were in the military, because that seems like, that anytime somebody makes a conscious decision to formally go into the military, you're choosing, or in your case, your mom is like helping you choose, like, you're going to do this.
Right.
But the point is, you served our country. What was that experience like for you serving in the military?
When I served, I felt like it was the greatest accomplishment ever because I'm serving for my people. And so me playing sports, I was like team captain. As team captain, you always want to protect your players, keep everybody motivated. So it's been something in my DNA since a kid. So when I joined the military, I was like, all right, I'm putting my life on the line for my country, my family, I'm representing. And then fast forward in life, being where I am right now and seeing what happens to my people, it makes me ask this question. Is the flag a lie?
Is the what a lie?
Is the flag a lie?
Interesting. Okay. So
claims to represent freedom, liberty, and justice for everyone. That means all races.
Right.
But does it?
Interesting question. And that's a question I'm sure that anyone in the virtual studio audience that's watching, we all will have our own individual opinions of whether, especially if you're in the United States, whether the flag that we represent, that represents all of us. And again, thank you, Mackenzie. She popped this up, that the views expressed by the guests on the Kim Jacobs Show do not always reflect that of the show, myself, Les Brown, CTR Media Network, or Believe in Your Dreams Network, because we're streaming on a lot of different platforms. But these are our own individual opinions is what's happening here. And so when that question was posed to you in your own mind's eye, what was kind of the answer for you?
I'm still figuring that out. I'm working on that because I believe in unity and equality. And I believe that love and unity is the antivirus to the system of oppression. So it's just a question, because when we look at things that are happening today, is there equality? If two people do the same crime in the same state, are they getting the same results? Or is there a difference based off of what they look like? Now, I can't answer that fully, right? But what I can do is propose the question to allow other people to come up with an answer for themselves. So you're correct. This isn't Ms. Kim. This is totally me. And it's just a question for you to think about, because I never answered that. I just
in all transparency, I have had that question also run through my head, and I love the American flag. I love being American, and I'm honored to be here in this country, as I'm sure you are, as you've served the country. So I speak, I'm sure, on behalf of both of our beliefs, but I do want to make sure too that there's a way for all of us to thrive in unity and in love, so that we all feel like, hey, this is my piece of the flag. This is my piece of the flag. Me doing this show, I believe, is also not just this episode, but this show as a whole is to help bring balance to the world everywhere. And that's why you have people on here from all over the world. I see people from Sarasota, Florida. I see you, Vanita, from Florida. I see you from St. Martin, people, Perla and St. Martin in the Caribbean. I want whatever flag you're representing today, I hope that it does make you feel proud to represent that particular flag as well. So all of you that are tuning in, we appreciate you being here today. And we're talking with King Jaquel Martin. Tell me what the king, I say queen over here because I'm Queen Kim over here, but tell me where did the king come from?
Well, I created my stage name because my real name is Carlos Martin. My stage name as an actor is King Jaquel Martin, and it's named after both of my boys, King and Jaquel.
Oh, I don't think I've ever heard you say that did you say that on another interview ever?
No.
That was exclusive on the Kim Jacobs Show. You heard it first here on the Kim Jacobs Show. Why he's called King Jaquel Martin, after both of his sons, King and Jaquel. And that's his stage name. So he's incorporated his family into his stage name. Wow, wow, wow. Kudos to you, Dad, over there.
Yeah, I was always told that, because my youngest son's name is King, my heir, like my heir to the throne. Well, what are you leaving him? What is the legacy? What are you passing on to the future? So by building my brand, King Jaquel Martin, I'm passing on my brand to King and Jaquel.
Wow. Now, I know during one of these commercial breaks, I will need you to send me a picture of the sons because I don't think I have that. So at some point, if you have one and you want to share it, then please feel free. If not, we'll just talk about them and keep on going because sometimes, when you're a public figure, you don't always want to share.
Yeah, exactly. So especially with the topic we're about to talk about. So
right. So no, we honor the fact that you have two sons, King and Jaquel, and we're honored to be able to just say congratulations to your daddy, guys. If you're getting a chance to see this episode, that he's leaving a legacy that he can pass the baton on to both of you as his legacy. So I'm excited that you even spoke about them today here on the show. Listen, when we come back, we're going to go ahead and get right into some of the other deeper topics that happened. It's been in the news and different things, but we're going to talk about those right from King Jaquel's own words. And let's pop some of these comments up now for a second because it won't relate to what we're going to be talking about next, Mackenzie. So pop those up. Let's see. Greetings from Texas. Greetings from Maryland. I see you, Carolyn. Greetings from Maryland. Thanks for your service, Carolyn also said. She wants to thank you. Greetings from Texas, Kathy says. I see your comment, Kathy. Glad to have you. Blessings and greeting from Montreal. Montreal, okay, Alpha says. Taking the time to meet people where they are at is big respect. Do you want to say anything to that comment?
I think it's important because you want the same. And if you want, it's the golden rule. Treat others how you want to be treated.
Yes.
So I believe that goes a long way.
That's a beautiful comment. Anil and Neil Kai has said that. Anybody else? Let's see. Blessings to you, Hermilla, as well. Thank you for tuning in. Nate says, blessings and greetings from Chicago. Nate Gray Zone. Glad to have you. My mom is watching. Hey, Mommy. She said, good morning. Looking forward to this great show. Okay. Any other comments? Sarasota, Florida. Cheryl's in the house. Running through purpose. That's a great comment. Greetings to the guests, veteran Jaquel Carlos Martin, Linda says. Great appreciation for your service to our nation, all the way from Seattle. All right, we're going to go now. Greetings from Missouri. I see you, Jaive. It's a pleasure to have you. So listen, you all will probably have quite a few questions and comments coming in after we go to our next segment piece here. When we come back from this commercial, King Jaquel, I would like for us to talk about an incident that happened with you pertaining to a police officer and what transpired in your own words, and we'll talk about it further from there. We're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back, everyone, talking with King Jaquel Martin. We'll be right back.
When someone has lost a loved one, they want to know what exactly happened. They want to know, is the other person going to be held responsible? And they want closure. At Hunter & Everett, we help clients that have lost a loved one move on, and to do that with dignity and respect that they deserve.
And we're talking with King Jaquel Martin. And I would like for everyone to hear your story of what happened. I was reading and I saw something about when you left the military. How did you end up leaving the military, and then transition us to what happened?
Okay. The question that I had asked earlier was, is the flag a lie? Was the question for anyone to interpret for themselves. So what happened was, it was October 24th, 2005. I was at work, normal day. I was doing a uniform inspection for my soldiers to make sure that their uniform was correct for the awards show tomorrow. So basically on the way home, I live maybe 2 miles away from the base. As I was driving home, I used to play semi-pro football for the Carolina Tigers. Shout out to Coach Randy Jackson.
Hey, shout out to you, Coach.
I used to take all the children to my football games. They would hold the down markers, right? So as I'm driving in the neighborhood, I'm driving to my apartment. So imagine it being almost like a square. Right. So in front of me, there was a police officer. So I'm riding behind the police officer as he's actually driving towards my house. When he goes around the rectangle of the apartment complex in the parking lot, I enter the rectangle of the parking lot. When we see each other, I acknowledge him by nodding my head. In his police report, he felt like I was teasing him by bobbing my head. I don't know how, but that was his feelings. Now, he was supposed to be out there for a white male flashing little kids, which I didn't know at the time. So as I'm driving, I park my car, I get out my car, I walk to the door. Now, mind you, I lived in the fourplex. I had a police officer who lived above me. My wife, who I'm no longer with, was at home studying to be a nurse. She's also a former soldier who had just got back from Iraq. So as I'm walking to the door, I'm putting the keys in the door, I hear a car peel off. So naturally, I want to know what's going on. I turn around. I see an officer. His name was Officer Benjamin Fields. Officer Benjamin Fields is the same police officer who assaulted the young lady at Spring Valley High School when she was sitting in her desk, and he slams her on her head and throws her across the classroom. So when he runs up on me, he said, hey, you. I said, yes, sir. How can I help you? He said, I'm out here for a noise violation. I said, well, it couldn't have been me, sir. Plus, I just got home from work. He asked me for my license and registration. I handed him my license and registration, but I had gave him a paper license because I lost my picture license in transition from Germany. So when I handed him the paper license, he looked at it, paused. What the hell is this? I said, sir, if you would just calm down. I said, dude, if you would just calm down, I'm a military soldier. And I am a Richland County officer of the law. You will not address me as dude. I said, well, you address me by hey, you. He said, well, that's because I don't know your name. Well, hell, I don't know your name either. And next thing I know, he runs, tackles me, and slams me to the ground. He starts punching on me. Bam, 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 bam. The police officer wasn't home, but her mother was. So her mother was watching the whole situation unfold. She run downstairs to get my ex. There's an officer outside assaulting your husband. Now, as I'm on the ground, the officer is making these comments like how he's glad Johnny Cochran's dead. I'm nothing but another black statistic, how he was going to ruin my life, how he's going to take everything from me. So the women and children that were in the neighborhood started to come out as they watched the officer on top of me, because all of them knew me because I used to play with their children. Right. So as he's punching me or whatever else, he gets nervous when he sees a crowd of women and children watching him. Now, during this time frame, my ex runs out and she sees it. She runs back into the house to get her cell phone to start taking pictures. Now, in my situation, this is 2005, so videos wasn't a big thing. So she's taking picture of the whole situation. The officer looks up and sees that his picture is being taken. So he gets on the radio, 1032, officer in distress. Now, I understand why the other police officers arrived to the scene the way they arrived to a scene because of the way he put out the call. But in police training, you're supposed to evaluate what's happening before you just react, right? Because as a soldier, if I go to war and I break the Geneva Convention Code, I could be looked at as a traitor. Well, I believe that if a police officer doesn't follow his training, he's no longer an officer, because you're not doing the things that officers are supposed to do.
But stop right there for 1 second, because it's a whole lot to unpack in what you're saying. You're coming home, you're there, you're in this situation. Again, this is King Jaquel's story of what happened to him from his own point of view and what he experienced. Okay. So now while you're there, what I'm hearing you say right now, which is a very important point to digest, that in military, you're trained a certain way to utilize your military protocol.
Yes.
What I'm hearing you say that you feel is that when a police officer is coming out and addressing whatever situation that they're encountering, it is your perspective that they should utilize their police training, whatever academy training they've experienced.
Correct.
So when it crosses over to, take it from there. Tell me your words and what it crosses over to a person just being a person, basically, is what I think I'm hearing you say. Correct. You're no longer, I'm not military, you're not police. We're just regular two men out here in an awkward situation, is what I think I'm hearing you say.
Correct. So what I'm saying is if I break the Geneva Convention Code, I could be looked at as a traitor because I'm not following the rules of engagement. Interesting. And I feel like that same thing should apply to the police when you're not following your police training, because that's what you're trained to do, to conduct yourself and handle certain situations. That's what the police academy is for. And I also feel like the I fear for my life rule is not a one-way street. because I'm fearing for my life. I don't have a weapon in certain situations, right? Because not all situations are the same.
Right.
But I fear for my life. So if you're punching me, hitting me, macing me, saying that I'm a resisting, no, I'm reacting to you actually hitting me. You know, there's a difference. I should have the right to react to if I'm being punched, maced, or kicked, and you not use that as a weapon against me, saying you're stop resisting, stop hitting me. So it doesn't look that way. Give me the opportunity to comply. And if I'm complying, then follow the training. But when you're not doing that and you're acting outside of your training, you're being a bully. If you take my life wrongfully because you're not God, judge, and jury, then you should be tried in the same way. Because I can't walk around taking someone's life, so you shouldn't be able to hide behind the badge if you're wrongfully out here taking someone's life and you're not following your training.
Wow. Okay. That is a wow. Put Colette, I see your comment. Wow. It sums up what I think I just heard. And again, I'm hearing this from King Jaquel at the same time that you all are hearing this. So I put a link in here in the comment section in whatever platform that you're watching today's episode. And so if you definitely are interested in coming on to the platform, please make sure that you know you're welcome to do that. And this is the link for you to be able to come on the platform, and it'll pull you right into today's broadcast. You may have questions, you may have comments, you may have something that you're like, look, I don't even share in the thoughts that he shares in, and I want to share my thought. This platform is there for us to have this discussion, okay? Wow, Mercy is correct. Let's see, let me put my glasses back, my reading glasses here, okay? And you, hey, Red, somebody asked me yesterday, are these John Leslie's, which is Les Brown's son? No, these are Kim Jacobs. But no, these are mine. But I do think he wears red glasses too. Oh my God, your story is outrageous. I'm a retired Navy spouse, Carolyn says. I have experienced situations as well, but not to this extent. Right. Wow. Okay. Anybody else comment? This is somebody said Mercy as well. Michelle said Mercy. Colette said wow. Okay. Man, that made me have to take a deep breath for a minute.
I told you, put your seatbelt on. Now, okay. Ms. Kim, as a soldier and as a man, it's one thing for you to be assaulted because that makes you feel like, man, oh my God, is this what my people felt like so long ago? You know, and I understand that I'm the answer to their prayers. Somebody prayed about me a long time ago. Somebody made a sacrifice for me a long time ago for me to even be in the position and to have the freedoms that I have today. So when I'm being shackled, when I'm being punched, when I'm being maced, my ex comes out and she's taking pictures of her. So when the rest of the officers arrive, his supervisor, Deputy Joseph Clark, Officer Phil says, get her A. She has pictures of me. So he runs up on my ex, slams her into the car, puts her hands behind her head. She drops her cell phone, right? Now she's handcuffed. After she's handcuffed, she's picked up by the back of her arms and slammed into the ground face first. It's one thing to be a husband and be assaulted. It's another thing to watch your wife be assaulted in front of you and there's nothing you can do to protect her because one wrong move could cost both of you your lives.
Okay.
And all you do is cry out to God.
So, wow. Okay. So fast forward a little bit and take us to you and your ex-wife are on the ground, handcuffed in front of the community. And in your opinion, you're not resisting arrest. You're actually reacting to what is happening to you because you had a paper ID.
Yes, ma'am. So what I did in my situation was I grabbed my shirt. I buried my eyes in my arms because he used the whole can of mace on me. Now, when that happened, I'm a soldier. So we're trained to handle those type of situations because we go to the gas chamber. So when I didn't react like the normal civilian would react, he accused me of being on drugs. And he became even more violent. And so that was for me, right? Because if you close your eyes, you hold your breath, mace doesn't bother you. Now, if you scratch your pores or whatever else, it opens up your pores and it starts to burn. So as I'm on the ground, I'm watching, you know, who's my ex, who's also a veteran who just got back from Iraq, be assaulted in front of me and sexually assaulted in front of me when they fake like they were looking for weapons. You know how that makes you feel? You know how that breaks your spirit as a person to watch the person that you love, that you said that you would protect, and you can't protect her? There's nothing you can do.
And what happened? She was assaulted, you said?
So she was arrested. Then she was, as her arms were behind her back like this, Miss Kim, right? He picks her up by the back of her arms and then slams her into the ground, face first, with her handcuffed, with her arms behind her back. You know what that's like to be a husband, to watch your loved one that happen?
No, I don't know what it's like at all. And when you don't know what it's like, you really can't envision what it's like. And nobody knows until they have experienced that actual thing, that like how you're describing this. My heart breaks to hear this story, but it's like I cannot, no matter how hard I try, I cannot envision and imagine, except for what I've witnessed on TV and where people get videos and photos and different things that have been shared with the whole world. This is extremely overwhelming, and it's very unfortunate because it does not represent every single officer that's out here under any circumstances. I just literally encountered 2 officers yesterday. I was struggling carrying these boxes to an event, and these 2 officers were walking by me, and both of them said, "Ma'am, can we stop and help you?" And I said, of course, nobody would get this footage on viral video either, because you have some officers that will go to extremes to help you in situations, Then you have those that, for whatever the reason, take it out of context and use their authority in different regards that are very disgruntled, harmful situation. And in some cases, the person's life is taken, and we get to witness it. It's not like we don't see it. Everybody with eyeballs, we see this on TV.
Right.
It's like this is not something we have to interpret. We can see with our own eyes that this is happening.
Yes,
so,
ma'am.
okay.
And special shout out to all the good officers that are serving with honor and integrity, because there are a lot of good officers out there. I have family members that are officers. So not by no means am I saying every officer is bad, but it is very hard to pull racism out of something that was birthed from something that was racist. And you're like, King, what do you mean by that? Well, the police badge comes from the slave patrol badge. The slave patrol badge was to catch Black people. It's just what history is. It's not me being disrespectful. It's just me stating facts. So how do you pull something racist out of something that was born from racism?
You asking some deep questions. Ask that a question again, please, because I'm like, you got me over here like,
I said, how do you pull racism out of something that was born from racism? How do you pull something racist out of racism? Because if the police badge's job was to catch Black people, and now it has transferred into the police badge, if you put both badges up, it looks the same. It looks exactly the same. So how do we heal? How do we start having positive conversations about these different type of topics, so that way we can start making the changes that we want?
Wow. Okay. So how do you recommend that? Because you experienced this firsthand. So I'm sure that the thought runs through your head a million times over. Here are some solutions. What, from your perspective, would be some solutions to these horrible incidents that are happening in our country?
I believe officers deserve to have longer vacations. Why would you start with vacations? Because people become desensitized when you continue doing something over and over again, and the humanity is pulled away from it. That's like a nurse. She's going into the hospital and she just graduated and she wants to do an amazing job. You ask that nurse 10 years later, does she have the same energy that she came in with? It's going to be different because of how she's been treated. You know what I mean? And now her care for the patients isn't the same because of how she's been cared for. So I believe if people get longer breaks, then they can come back with a refreshed battery or recharge to do the right thing. Then in businesses, we have we have sexual harassment training, right? We have EL policies. Well, I believe police officers need sensitivity training. And I also believe they should work in neighborhoods with people that they're familiar with, so that way they don't have to have the same type of fear of going into an unknown situation.
Wow, great solutions. And so you really do believe that if these things are implemented, it could change how people handle people with a better sense of compassion and long suffering versus just immediate reactions.
And another thing, I believe that if we really start holding people accountable, officers accountable, the ones who are no longer acting like an officer, if someone takes someone's life wrongfully, they should be charged. if someone insults someone, they should be charged, because when people see that you're stepping out of bounds, that there's a consequence to it, that makes you think twice. You're not so quickly to step out of bounds, but when you're used to getting away with something, when you're used to being able to hide behind the badge, why would I stop doing anything? I'm not going to be charged anyway. So when you read the police report that I sent you about me wrongfully being assaulted, the officer was cocky. Why would I have to change anything? Why would I be afraid of what I'm saying if there's no consequence to it? And so for me, I want to tell America, I am more than an amendment. See, when they wrote the Constitution, they didn't think about me. The Constitution wasn't written for somebody to look like me. That's like, Miss Kim, can I come to your house and tell you what to do?
Absolutely not.
Right? But if I say, hey, Miss Kim, can I use your bathroom? Can I get something to eat? You might allow me to do that, right?
Absolutely. I would definitely. UPS drivers and all kind of drivers come by, and I offer them a bottle of water, a snack. I have 5 children. I'm like, every snack you want is in this house. So I just show that kind of patronage towards the people that are giving service just in my neighborhood, dropping off of a package. And the same thing if a police officer, or if someone that is an actor or whatever, I do that because I think it's appropriate.
Now watch this, Miss Kim. If I make you angry, those privileges are taken away from me. See, you made an amendment to your house. You made an amendment for me to be in your house.
Right.
Well, America, my people are more than just an amendment. And when you make amendments, they have loopholes. That's how you can have 2 people do the same crime and get different results. That's how you can have the crack epidemic and create the war on drugs, right? But that was the war on us. But then you can have the opioid situation and they get counseling.
That's good. That's good. Good conversation. Lots of comments are coming in. Let me just put this as well. Hold on one second. That audience discretion today is advised, and that's something that I want to make sure you all know, because our topic today is a little more intense than we normally have, but very necessary. And I thank you, King Jaquel, for coming on and sharing your story. I did see some people pop backstage. If you want to pop backstage again, feel free and show your camera. I'll pop you on, and you're welcome to ask your questions or share your comments to King Jaquel. All right, put some of these comments up, Mackenzie, so we can go to the studio audience. I see quite a bit coming in. I'll start putting some up. Let's see. Yolanda said, very, very cocky. Okay, I'm not sure. Whatever you said, something she said to that. Okay.
She was referring to the officer.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure. Okay, Carolyn said, hey, people don't realize that vacations are a form of self-care and a healthy lifestyle. I don't think, King Jaquel, that I've ever heard anyone say that is a good solution. And so I'm eager to hear how it's a way for you to get in front of some of these different officers and town hall meetings to share those philosophies, and maybe even help change legislature in that regard to mandate certain things. I love that feedback.
Look, I got assaulted by the police, right? I'm not the first nor I'm the last. But either you want to be a part of the problem or part of the solution. And I choose to be a part of the solution. So my whole goal, and the reason why I wanted to come on your amazing show, is to help build a bridge between the public and the police. Because no one's coming to save us. And as human beings, if we created this problem, then we need to come up with solutions to be able to heal. How do we have positive controversy, Ms. Kim? What does that mean, King? How do we have a conversation about sensitive topics without allowing the emotion to destroy the conversation? Because we got to get at the root to be able to heal.
Well, Colette says that, hey, I have 3 sons and many nephews. This is outrageous in her perspective. And Traz says, hello, Kim Jacobs. Much love to you. Much love to you as well. And I know that you do quite a bit of things in the entertainment world. And so much love to you. And thank you for tuning in today, Traz. Love to have you as a guest as well. Did these guys get possessed by their ancestors? Caleb said, okay, that's his thought on that as well. And Yolanda says, superior complex. This is too much to take in. This is so depressing. Aaron Mawan says, wow. And so much violence. Nobody wants to deal with this. So if there's a way that everybody could just go about their business and have a great life and live in synergy and harmony, is what we would love to have happen.
I agree.
All situations are unknown to police officers. No situation is the same, Tony said.
I agree.
And you might be able to speak to that comment more than I would be able to.
No, I 100% agree. I'm not saying every situation is the same situation. What I'm saying is police training and a police academy are supposed to prepare you for these situations. The same way as a soldier, when I go to war, every war is not the same, but there are rules of engagement. So when you follow the rules of engagement to the best of your ability, that's one thing. When you're not doing that, as we can see in all these videos that are popping up, and it's not nothing new, the camera's just catching it. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the outrageous situations to the extreme where a police officer is nowhere near following his training. I'm only talking about those.
That's very good answers. And again, King Jaquel did not know that you all would be asking this many questions or comments. So I just really appreciate the kindness that you're showing to be able to entertain some of the comments and questions. Quite some insight. He made a really good point. Never have I ever had this perspective as far as profiling business goes, Sanchez says. Wow. This makes my blood boil. What can we do to stop this madness? And Michelle asked that question. I think you kind of answered it with some solutions.
I got a solution, Miss Kim.
Go.
Self-love.
Okay.
We got to start loving ourselves, right? We got to start not only loving ourselves, we got to start doing some mental awareness, because a lot of us are emotionally hoarding old stories that don't serve us, right? Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is when I know how to love me, I can love the next person next to me. And if I know how to love the person next to me, then all of a sudden we can start having some unity and love. There's a post on Facebook that says, if only they knew they had to stand up together. For my Bible thumpers, it says, man united can accomplish anything. But that's why the system has so many different things to keep us arguing, divided, division. You got this, you got that. Look, you got those followers. You got all these things are to keep us separate from understanding how much love and unity, there's so much power in it. But you got to know how to love you first.
Wow. You know what? This is your comment is so much coming in here. I see you, our sunshine expert here on the Kim Jacobs Show. Athena Robertson said, good morning to you, my sis, and to King Jaquel. And she brings sunshine to our program. Somebody said, so true, and self-love is so important. Lots of comments. I hope that I'm doing good by getting some of them in. Thank you, Mackenzie, for popping so many of them up. Those are nice, convenient responses. I wish it could be ignored and fix itself, but it doesn't happen that way. Wow. Demetrius says those are very nice, convenient responses that's happening here on the show, but I wish it could be ignored and just kind of fix itself, but it doesn't happen that way.
Yeah, life don't work that way. Like,
I agree with you, Demetrius. It hasn't fixed itself so far. So I wish that what you're sharing, King Jaquel, is something that can be really shared at some of maybe the police trainings, or I don't know. I don't know the solution because I'm not a police officer or a military person. So I'm just providing the platform and definitely not trying to disrespect either the military or the police. But I think things like this are necessary. Colette said this is good and powerful show. So well spoken by both of you. Would love to be a guest on your show. Trez, I hope so. Let's go ahead and connect. And if you all don't know Trez, you should know him because he's phenomenal. Let's see. When you have uneducated, okay, these are amazing comments. When you have uneducated police officers on a racist system, destroying the system is the solution to the problem. Thoughts on that? Anything?
When this all was constructed, it wasn't diversity and inclusion. So if that's evolved, then as a people, we need to evolve. And if we see something's broken, then all of us need to come to the table and everyone needs to come up with a new system, a new constitution, a new rules of engagement when it comes to officers. So that way we can start healing. What's wrong with creating new? If it's a business plan has to renew itself. If everything is evolving in life, rules can evolve as well. Wow. So if it's about diversity and inclusion, and we have different communities and different sexualities, and we're evolving in these ways, then I believe the rules to the game should also evolve. And it should be diversity and inclusion when we do this. It shouldn't just be, white people sitting at the table. It should be a representation from every race. So that way, collectively, we can make rules to create the changes we want. Because I believe it takes every color in the crayon box to create a beautiful picture.
Wow. And here is a man that was in his own words, assaulted by a police officer. What was the outcome of that situation? So can you give us a kind of courtesy update as to what happened?
So I was found out guilty on all charges for the criminal. I went to the civil, and my lawyer tricked me out of my civil suit. John Mobley tricked me out of my civil suit, and what he said was, if I dropped the assault charge, we would make so much money over here. And I'm like, okay, I want to call my mom first. And this is why, shout out to Colin Kaepernick about know your rights. Because when you don't know your rights, people can take advantage of you. And people don't even know about the laws of the land when it comes to the sea. And when you walk into a courtroom, you're no longer, that's another conversation. But the point of it is he tricked me out of my court case. So when I dropped the assault charge, what happened was they threw my case out. And so I've been fighting to get my case. So I've never had my civil suit. I've never had my day in court. And why would America tell people that soldiers are being assaulted? Because even the most racist person respects the flag.
And you had your uniform on the day that this happened?
Yes, ma'am. I was in my military uniform in front of my home.
Oh,
but that one moment didn't define my life.
So here we're talking with King Jaquel. I want you all to follow him on social media. King Jaquel Martin. I should have said mountain because that's what you've crossed, is a big mountain. And when you're at the top of one mountain, you're at the bottom of another one. So it's a lot of different hills and valleys and things that we experience in this world. But anyway, so your stage name could have been King Jaquel Mountain because you done accomplished a lot in a short period of time. So King Jaquel Martin, make sure you all follow him on Instagram and on Facebook. And when we come back from this commercial break, we're going to hear about some things that's happened to you in a new venture that you've experienced. Yeah. I didn't want to transition from this to talk about this new world that you're experiencing until you felt like we were kind of at a good stopping place. Yeah. Do you feel like this is a good stopping place for that topic?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Because here's the thing. We could beat a dead horse and talk about the pains, and you can't tell me one rainbow without rain. You can't tell me one testimony without a test. So you got to endure the test to get to the testimony, and you got to endure the rain to get your rainbow. So now that we talked about the rain, we're going to talk about the transition to the rainbow, because a seed can't grow if it's not watered. And that's the rain. You got to be watered. You got to go through something. You got to endure it, because guess what? You can. You have a choice. So Einstein says E equals MC squared, right? Well, I say emotional intelligence equals life divided by you, because in life, you're going to have good and bad. That is the ingredients of life. And life was here before you. So that makes the life the numerator. And you are the common denominator of your own life. So everything that happens to you from your perspective, whether it be good or bad, equals your emotional intelligence. And how you choose to handle that emotionally, you'll create your own heaven and hell.
Wow. Wow, creating your own heaven or hell. And he's chosen to create his own heaven here on earth and has taken advantage of the opportunities that are before him, hence becoming Toastmasters District 46 champion. What is that?
Yes, ma'am. I was Toastmasters Regional 46 district champion. I'm about to drop a bomb on the world, so please get ready. And this week of transition after this, it's about to be it's entitled, "Am I in a domestic violent relationship with America?"
Wow. Now, you know what? You're doing the most on this show. I don't know what you're going to do with this footage, but if this should be footage that can help you, I don't know. Don't put the comment. I don't know what that stands for. And you might know what tag all of that. I don't want to put the comment if I don't know what the translation is. But somebody can look the translation up for me, Mackenzie, and then you can, if it's appropriate, put it up. Okay, preach the truth, brother. Michelle said, preach the truth, brother. All right. I see hearts. I see everything. Everybody hashtag, if you will, King Jaquel Martin. Let's get that trending. King Jaquel Martin. Make sure you hashtag that. And let's get it going. Wow, that is deep. Right after this commercial break, we're going to come back and hear about his other hat that he wears outside of all of this drama he's experienced in his life. Let's take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back, everyone. Wow. All right, everyone, we are back and we are talking with King Jaquel Martin. And now, some wonderful things have happened since this horrific moment in your life. And I would like for you to talk to us about how you got blessed on the outset, please.
Put your seatbelt on.
Okay.
Denzel said the devil will come at you at your highest moment. So before I get to the other portion and the other side, my mother had a situation that just went viral. My mother's neighbor got into an argument with her about how she was cutting her grass. The son comes outside and calls my mom the B word and says he'll murder my mother. And as a son, I'm ready to fly home. I'm ready to protect my mother and everything else. And I want to shout out Mark. Mark said, make enough money where you can move her out of there. And I said, you know what? That's dope. I love it. I respect it. But at the same time, I can't change her from being Black in America, Mark.
Right.
So I feared for my mother's life and still do. Because just because you go viral, what comes with good comes with bad too, right?
You better believe it, of course.
So I started praying for those who pray. I started praying. I was crying. And I woke up and I said, okay, God, what do you want me to do? Because I've written a movie. I've written a book. I've written more movies. I'm speaking about it. How can I make an impact? Because I still suffer with PTSD. Because God, why did you spare me? What was so special about me that you allowed me to survive my situation when I see so many other people look like me lose their family members?
Right, right.
They all rest in power and love. So what I decided to do, I wrote a book. Shout out to Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan, who did Fruitvale Station, inspired me. Shout out to Colin Kaepernick, who took a knee for somebody he didn't even know. And I wound up doing an interview with Nessa on Hot 97 after I wrote the book. So I wrote the book, and then the young lady gets assaulted at Spring Valley High School.
Right.
And then I do the news interviews with Jake Tapper. And Jake Tapper said, if you saw the officer again, what would you say?
What would you say?
I need y'all to understand this, please, because this is how I created the movies. I said I would forgive him.
Interesting.
When I said I would forgive him, the forgiveness wasn't really all about the officer. It was more so for me, because I could be emotionally hoarding this pain and be like a little teapot and be ready to explode.
Right.
But what I realized was that a book and a movie would outlast a bullet.
Wow.
A book and a movie would outlast a bullet. So I put all my energy, shout out to Lisa Nichols, who said, let your pain be your gasoline to your automobile of success.
Yes, yes, yes.
So
you would forgive the officer. And just so everybody make sure we don't gloss over this, what he's saying is this is the same officer 10 years after his incident that was in this school.
No, yeah, that was in the school. Yes, ma'am. That was in the school. Yes, ma'am.
And was having an incident with a student at the school.
Yes, ma'am. Now here's the plot twist. After my mother had this Karen moment where the guy came out and said he would murder my mother, my mom has to go back to the same police station that assaulted me. She has to deal with the same sheriff that assaulted me. And do you think they helped my mother? Absolutely.
I don't know. Did they? No, not according to what you said.
Now, see, this is bigger than black and white, because even in my situation, when I reached out to the NAACP, I told them my situation. They said, how much money are you donating? ACLU, Rainbow Push, all these, no one wanted to help. And this is just the South Carolina branch. I'm not talking about all of it. But
this situation did go viral. South Carolina black woman threatened by neighbors and video. Cops do nothing, according to what the thing was on their page. Where is this information?
You can see it on Roland Martin's page. He did the show for us. Shout out to Therese. She gave us an amazing opportunity to speak about this. And shout out to Roland Martin. Shout out to DL Hughley, who just posted it on his page. It's in his reels if you guys want to check out that story. So wow. All this happened, and the next morning, I got an audition. I got an audition for Cocaine Sisters out of a friend, out of respect. He said, hey, you want to act? I said, absolutely. He said, you didn't ask for how much it was. I said, I don't care. I want to be back on set. So I want to shout out my friend Brian, who blessed me with an opportunity to be on Cocaine Sisters. I met Professor Ogilvy, you know what I mean, from Meet the Parkers on set, but Cocaine Sisters. I get an email in the mail. Your movie, A War on Friendly Grounds, will be showcased at the Chinese Theater. What? The Chinese Theater? Next day, your new movie, Twitter Fingers, will be showcased at the Chinese Theater, back to back. Now I just submitted my new movie, Evolution of Slavery, will now be possibly more than likely showcased at the Chinese theater. So now I'm able to fly my mom out for a red carpet event. Not only that, I graduated from the New York Film Academy on the same day. So I'm walking out of graduation into a movie screening. You can't tell me that one moment don't define your life. Now, the crazy thing about this, Miss Kim, I didn't even tell you this. I'm a supervisor for security. When I moved to California, I was doing security, and I'm still doing security, right?
Right.
I'm around Jack Black, Morris Chestnut, Denzel, and all these amazing people, and I was embarrassed as a security guard. And God said, what's wrong with you?
Right.
Just on the ground. You're in the room. If you act like a security guard, they'll treat you like a security guard. But if you act like who I called you to be, you'll have all of that. Fast forward, I go to New York Film Academy. Shout out to my boy, Jeffrey Akoff. He played Tupac in the Death Row Chronicles. He says, I'm going to New York Film Academy to be a screenwriter. I said, well, I wrote a book. I'm going too. So I go to New York Film Academy, and I went to the screenwriting program, and I found out how much screenwriters had to write. I said, oh, the devil is a lie. That ain't for me.
Okay, let's stop for 1 second. When he said he wrote a book, it's called A War on Friendly Grounds. And it became a true story that, based on a true story, he also created a film surrounding this. And I do want to take a moment just to show people the intro to the reel to your film. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am. Please and thank you.
All right, let's do that.
Thank you guys. I really, really appreciate this. So, I'm not really big on speeches, but let's have some cake. Come on.
Welcome home, soldier. Take you home, sir.
Well, you put your life on the line for this country. And that's what makes you brave.
The truth is, I just really wanted my battle buddies to get back home safely.
Hold on. Officer Clark here.
Hey.
Oh my God. You about to pop the question.
Hey, you. Come here.
How may I help you, sir?
Is this your vehicle?
And I want to know, will you marry me?
Wow. Okay. So that's your film that you created, A War on Friendly Grounds. What do you want people to walk away knowing about that film?
It's time to heal. At the end of the film, I asked that question, America, aren't you tired of seeing this? I put my life on the line for a country that doesn't love me back for the color of my skin. My question to you, America, is the flag a lie? Because it claims to represent freedom, liberty, and justice for all. But does it? I want to give a special thank you to every officer that serves with honor and integrity. And it's all about this, right? What makes a rainbow beautiful? Is it not the diversity of colors? Well, if that's true, is mankind's kryptonite trying to put one color in front of the next? And if that happens, is it still a rainbow? I think not. So why are we destroying something that God created beautiful with invisible lines of hate? We're all 6 degrees of separation from loving each other, but we choose to be addicted to poison. All we have to do is choose love. The question is, will we?
Wow. Okay. A special, again, he said a special shout out, even in the midst of his own pain and agony and everything that's happened to him from his own account. A special thank you to every officer that serves with honor and integrity, King Jaquel Martin says. Now, something really big happened for you. People, if you do want to get a copy of the book, make sure, how can they get a copy of your book?
You can go on Amazon, just search A War on Friendly Grounds. You can purchase the book, and in the trailer, you can see that on YouTube, like we just showcased. It's entitled the same thing as the book, A War on Friendly Grounds. We will be working on the feature film of A War on Friendly Grounds, and the pitch is Fruitville Station and Crash meets Pursuit of Happiness. Because I don't think there's ever been a movie that didn't just show the death of a person or the court case of a person. I don't think there's ever been one that shows the mental journey that I've been on, and in overcoming the mental illness to become a director, an actor, an author, a motivational speaker, to be on the Miss Kim Jacobs show right now, and to be able to show that journey and how one moment didn't define my life. I think it will be all about healing, conviction, and love.
Y'all make sure you get a copy of the book. And also, I want to pop this picture up because his journey is not even over. This is a newer thing that's happening in his life. And so tell everybody about this major big deal, King Jaquel Martin,
So that
and where they can find you now.
that was a blessing. Shout out to Rob Y. Shout out to Chris Lofton, Donovan Carter. Shout out to London Brown. Especially shout out to The Rock, for allowing me to be on their show. I'm in season 5, episode 5. I'm the one that had a fun. I won't even tell you. You got to go watch it yourself.
Yeah, and
But
he tried to screenshot something so I could show y'all, but it was just like, we can't.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. To go from security. Okay, I'm glad you showed that. So that was the security story. So I was a security guard at Fox Studios when I was embarrassed. So I went to New York Film Academy. I auditioned for Ballers, and about 4-5 months later, I get a call from my agent. And I was like, man, they finna let me go. I haven't been auditioning. I haven't been making no money for them. They're finna let me go. I get the call. They say, King, you book Ballers. I said, thank you guys for helping me. I appreciate you. King, you're not listening. You book Ballers. I did what? Let's go. Oh, my God. Mom, I made it, right? Guess where I booked Ballers at, Miss Kim?
Where?
The same place I was doing security.
Woo-hoo!
So the same people I was doing security with were the same ones walking me to my trailer. I got to be a blessing to my friends, an example to my friends that it can happen. Now, this was how it gets even crazier. Someone on Ballers found out that I was a soldier that got assaulted by the police. Season 4, episode 10, they did a Colin Kaepernick one when they talked about Colin Kaepernick taking a knee, or Shut Up and Dribble about the rights of athletes or just minorities, right? I wind up meeting the creator of Ballers. I told him I wrote a book. He said, you got a book? I said, yes, sir. He said, go get it. I ran to the car. Thank God I had a box of books. I came back with a box of books. And do you know, Miss Kim, that they allowed me to do a book signing on a set of Ballers? So the same people that I'm watching and praising were the same ones I was signing a book for.
Look at how one moment in time did not break this man, King Jaquel Martin. He's still here, forgiving the officer that had this incident with him. And he is moving on to be on season 5, episode 5 of HBO Ballers. And he has kind of like a saucy, racy scene. I won't go into
well, that already aired. No, that already aired. That's already been out. That's season 5 is already out or whatever else. They're done with Ballers, but you can catch me on Ballers. That aired.
Right,
already.
but you can go back and watch the episode if you haven't. That's the point. Okay.
And it's so full circle, because you got that picture up, perfect timing. That's me at the Chinese Theater. I used to do security for Andrews at the Chinese Theater when I first moved here. And I said, God, one day I'm going to see myself on the screen. You can't outdream God. That's just how I feel. And I'm trying to keep my emotions together, Miss Kim, to go from wrongfully facing 10 years in jail, to go from watching my ex be assaulted in front of me, to seeing my face on a Chinese Theater. Not just my face, but my movie, where I was able to put my brother in the movie, where I was able to put my ex-girlfriend in the movie, where I was able to put so many people, and shout out to Tori, who's my best friend, to be able to create all these movies, to see my face and my name in the credits. I can't tell y'all, I can't write this. I can only live it. And the only reason why I feel like I'm being blessed is because if you do it in the dark when ain't nobody watching, he will put you in front of the world. Can you do it in private? Can you be faithful? Can you believe? Can you still be a good person? Can you not allow someone else's energy to change you? I didn't let that man break me. And that's why I came up with the speech, Unbreakable. One moment don't define your life. You do. Your situation might not be police brutality. That's just my story. But whatever you going through, whatever pain, whatever hurt, I promise you, if you just forgive yourself for the experience, if you just take a little moment just to look in the mirror and say, I love you, it's okay, and give yourself grace, mercy, and forgiveness, your life can change because you choose to show up in life differently. Because life is amazing, man. It is a present. It is a gift to be able to see tomorrow, because there's so many people that are no longer here. What is so special about you that you got to see another day? Please take advantage of this. Please take advantage of it. Because anytime I speak, I always end with this. If you died today, would you get an A+ on life's report card? And only you know the question to that answer. Only you know the answer to that question. But if not, and God blesses you with an opportunity to see tomorrow, you better live like it's extra credit, because tomorrow's not promised. So guess what? Every day that you wake up, it's an opportunity to be great. You got 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 to be great with every breath you take. Because it could be your last. Sorry, Miss Kim.
Yes, Colette, you said this is full circle. Look at how God brought his life full circle, and all of the comments that's flooding in. I see you saying amen, speak. Awesome, awesome. So proud of him. All of those comments, he's going to come back and check those out towards the end. He'll come back on your platforms and hopefully get a chance to respond. King Jaquel, I'm definitely interested in, and we're getting ready to end, but there's a young man in my life, and one of his desires is to become a formal actor. And so this is Jeremiah. You can't tell him nothing. He got swag all day long.
I see him.
Yes, Jeremiah is destined for greatness, and he's interested in being an actor. And this is I'll show you this one picture of Miles Morales, but this is, you can take the comment down, Mackenzie, of Colette's. I got it already. And this is Jeremiah, my son.
I love it. Hey,
you can't tell Jeremiah nothing. But one thing that he wants to do is be able to meet Denzel Washington, and now he's definitely gonna meet King Jaquel. What are your thoughts about him meeting possibly Denzel Washington in the future?
It's not even a possibility because he's putting the energy out there. Laws of attraction, and if he's obedient to it. And the beautiful thing was he put himself in the Spider-Man. See, that's how you take something invisible and make it visible. See, he's already seeing it. Even though he's not Spider-Man, he is Spider-Man because he sees it. And if he puts in the work, faith without work is dead. But if he wakes up and puts in the work, that will be your son on the screen.
Oh, every day he puts the work in. He applies for roles. He actually lives with cystic fibrosis. And so it's a lung disease, but he became a lifeguard because he wants to be able to strengthen his lungs. And he is physically fit, mentally fit, spiritually fit. And he one of his desires is to, again, become a famous actor that will help other people that live with special needs know that there's no limit to what they can do.
Love it. Give him my personal phone number, email. We are in contact for life. However, I can be a blessing. I will help him with his audition tape, scenes, studies, lines, whatever he needs. I will help him with the craft because you can't ask for a blessing without being a blessing. Now, I want to say one last thing because you did say something. You said he's physically, mentally, and spiritually fit, right? Watch this. This is special for you, Miss Kim. We have to understand this, right? We take physical baths every single day, Miss Kim. So that way we're not dirty. That way we don't get sores. That way it won't be the cause of our death. So we have to cleanse ourselves, right?
Right.
Okay. So here's my question then. When was the last time you washed your mind? When was the last time you washed your spirit? Sometimes we go to bed physically clean, but mentally and spiritually dirty. And then we wonder why we can't function at our fullest capacity to be everything that we need to be. See, we work like cell phones, Miss Kim. If you have too many apps on your phone, then you can't download nothing new. So in order to download something new, that means you got to get rid of things. So that's why I'm trying to tell us we got to start getting rid of things in our life that don't serve us. We got to stop emotionally hoarding.
Okay. I could stay on here with you all day, King Jaquel. I have been like impressed. I thought, I was like, how this episode is going to be so heavy. It's going to be so, but you have just uplifted me and made me feel even better. I see Vernita. I see all of the hand claps. I see all of the love. Talk about full circle, Colette said. I see people running around their room saying, oh my gosh, this is full circle. Michelle says, I see all of your comments. So we went a little bit longer. Wow. That's what I do to protect and empower. That's why I do what I do. Alicia Verdern says that I do what I do to protect and empower. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you. All of your comments. Thank you for tuning in today. So proud of you, Alicia says as well. I really hope that you all will pour into the Kim Jacobs Show as well, because this is the only way we get a chance to bring this level of programming to the community. It's only strictly by your contributions. So please continue to support the Kim Jacobs Show. We thank you for your support. All right, everybody, we got to get off this good show. King Jaquel, stay backstage. I'll talk with you in a moment. Wilbert says, great testimony. This show This shows that there is still hope. Yes, yes. Thank you, Dr. Les Brown, for allowing us to stream on your platform, CTR Media Network, and Believe in Your Dreams. Thank you all, too, for allowing the Kim Jacobs Show to stream on your programs. From a retired LEO, continue to be that light, Tony said. Brother, wow, you have done it again, mother. Julia Harper, in her 80s, on social media, had a heart. She had a heart transplant of a 16-year-old and has had it in her chest for over 20 years. This woman is still on social media. King, thank you for sharing your amazing story, Tina says. All right. Yes, Kathy says. Go ahead, Mackenzie. You got to close the show. Have a great one, everybody. Stay backstage, King.
Yes, ma'am.
Jaquel. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. I'm Kim Jacobs, host of The Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world, one household at a time. Listen, we go live every weekday, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I bring guests on that talk about their backstories, things that they've had to overcome to become who they are today. Many of them are balancing and juggling life, and they've become experts in different fields. So they're sharing tips with you to make your life just a little bit easier. Many times as a guest in the studio audience, you'll get a chance to walk away with a missing piece of the puzzle that might be missing in your life. Let's go on this journey together, and I look forward to seeing you Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on The Kim Jacobs Show.